where we will look into that, and we will look into few other programs, and then we will look into how we can access Salesforce objects. Okay, so the code related to inheritance and other things, those we will come later, probably one class for that. But now we will go forward with how we can access Salesforce objects and what are the real type of issues we face, what kind of work we have to do. We'll look into that. Okay. So tell me, have you completed all the assignments till now, whatever was given?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. Let look into that, and then we will move forward.
Sir, I have one thing to ask you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
স্যার আমার স্ক্রিনটা শেয়ার হচ্ছে তো? হ্যালো, হ্যালো স্যার, আই এম অডিবল?
Yeah, your screen is shared.
ওকে স্যার। স্যার আমার যে প্রবলেমটা হয়েছিল, আমি এখানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি প্রোগ্রামটা যেটা করতে চাইছিলাম যে একটা সেন্টেন্সের মধ্যে কটা ওয়ার্ড আছে সেটা আমি কাউন্ট করে সেটা আমি প্রিন্ট করতে চাইছিলাম। তো এই প্রোগ্রামটা নিয়ে অনেক খেটেছিলাম স্যার আমি। তো আমি এখানে যেহেতু স্ট্রিং ডট স্প্লিট করেছি, এটা একটা লিস্টকে রিটার্ন করবে যে যেটা দিয়ে স্প্লিট করছি। তো এই যে পুরো
You are
সেন্টেন্স।
counting. You are counting. Okay, that is also good. Uh, with the dot, you are actually splitting the sentences first, and then you are checking how many spaces are there.
ইয়েস
So
স্যার।
how many spaces are there is not the okay. With space, you were splitting. So mm, anyway, looks good. Tell me what is the issue.
Sir, the issue was if I split that with only full stop, then it called that the regular expression full stop is not supported. And if I use instead of this full stop by two backslash, then it is working. Sir, that is my problem.
So that double slash is actually to ignore. First backslash is to ignore that. Second one is backslash is actually omitting. Like that is the escape sequence you have put. But I'm not sure why dot is not being taken. Ideally, it should be. Probably it is just trying to look into this dot as an operator with dot operator. Like you are creating any class and then its object, and with object you are trying to access any property of that class, then you use dot operator. But probably it is looking into that dot operator that I have to look into. I'm right now I'm not sure, so I'll check and I'll let you know.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have another problem that I have stuck into one way. So actually, in this program, I want to. Sir, here is a pastry industry. There are 15 pastries and there are six customers. Okay, sir. And I want to share. There are six customers. For six customers, I have Their requirements is first customer requirement prestige requirements is three, second customer prestige requirements is two, and then. And here I want to check that if the customer uh, have their pastries, then enjoy your dessert. If they are not, then I want to print there that's all out. Sorry for the not having the pastry set. And where I am stuck into the problem, that is when I am uh, giving pastries. We have total 15 pastries. 3 plus 2 5 plus 7 12, and here is 4. So 12 plus 4 is 16.
Mhm.
And here I am checking when it is 16, then it is greater than total count of pastries. So I have to print there. Sorry for there is no pastry available, but I cannot do that, sir.
You come out of the loop. You want to print that for whom? Like where it is the count is going greater than 15 or something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So for that specific customer, you want to print that.
Yes, sir.
Put the else and break.
Else and break, sir. Here.
Yeah, put else, print whatever you want to print, and then put break because for others it will not anyway work. Or you can just continue. Break is not required. Whatever requirement you have told.
And then continue, sir.
No, not continue. So obviously it will just give me 1 minute. Let me check this logic. So you are subtracting that. Subtract it at the bottom because when you were coming in, first time you have 15. So the first user, you have to check that whether that value, PST count, PST count should be assigned. Where is PST count? What you were doing with that?
PST count is total pastry, sir.
So you have taken that as zero.
Yes, sir. No, sir, 15. Pastry is 15. Total pastry is 15.
Okay. Subtract it after if and else, then it will work properly.
Okay, sir.
Check it, or you can check later. What else you have?
No, sir. Other programs are compiled and executed successfully, sir. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you,
What
sir.
about others? So if you haven't except Dipanjan and Ritobroto, if you haven't done the other whatever assignments were given, it will become very difficult for you to understand the remaining things. Okay, but I got it from Nath. But the thing is that you have to complete these things. Otherwise, what will happen that you will continue to get lagging. Anyway, let's start with the collection framework today. So, what is collection framework? Uh, we were working with individual uh, items. We were in when we were defining variables. Those were individual items. Like I can just store one integer or one string or one double. Uh, but in actual program, I might have to use multiple. I might have to use multiple values at a time. So for that, there are three different things. One is list, one is map, and one is set. These three things are part of collection variables. So what is the difference between these things? Where we should use what? That we have to understand. Okay. So just give me 1 minute. Okay. So what is list? List is nothing but uh, values which are stored one after another. Like say one integer list can have these values present, something like this. And there can be repetitions as well. So these are individual values that we can store in one list. This is simple linear structure. One after another, you can just find it out. Okay. What is map? Map needs to have a key value pair, and that key value pair should be the key. Whatever key we are using, that must be unique. The values can be same value I can store, but the key needs to be unique. How? Say my values are, if I am taking a string, say this is one value. So what I have written, like one comma ABC, one is my key, and this ABC is the value I am trying to store. So what is the difference between these two? If I have to find a value here, I have to traverse through the list. I have to go to each and every element of the list and then find it out. For map, what is the utility of map? Map will always be, ideally, it will always be accessed by its key value. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever I have given here. It does not mean that it needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have the uh, for any Salesforce object, we have the Salesforce ID, right? So that ID is unique always. That can be used as a key. This key value pair means that with this key, I can always ask for like whatever keys, say there are thousands records stored. With a specific key, I can just get the value of the paired item, like whatever the value of that, like with that key, whatever value is stored, that I can access directly. So that is map. So for list and map, what is the difference? In list, I can access the elements one after another. Okay. So list index is there, or this list, these are actually called the index. With 1, 2, 3, 4 index, we can get that, or we can get that within a for loop one after another. For map, what we can do? For map, we can just directly access any cell value with the key. Okay. How that can be accessed, that syntax I will show you later. And what is set? Set is nothing but a list, but with unique values only. So in your set, this can be this can be a list. These 2 or 12, how many times you will try to insert one same value, it can contain that once only. So when we have to get a list of unique values, then only I will create a set. Okay. I don't want the duplicate values. Whatever values I am storing, at that time, if I don't need, or if I don't want to have any duplicate value, I will use the set. Okay. So this is the basic thing of collection variables. Now, coming back to list, what is how a list is defined? A list can be defined with this keyword list. Okay. And within this angular bracket, I have to define the type. What type of list it is? Okay. So, what is what kind of, or what type of values I am going to store in this list? This can be integer, this can be string, this can be of any type, any class name, like any type of object list. If I have to define, say there is in Salesforce object there is account, right? So if I need to define a list of accounts, that multiple accounts I have to use, I have to use this list account, then the list name. Here the name is ls1. I can put lst, I can put a, I can put b, whatever it is, the name. And then this constructor needs to be used, that is new. How that is possible? If you go to this developer thing, you will understand that there is a class at the background, okay, which is already written by Salesforce. That's how you can use this. And obviously, you have to use it to initialize a list. Then you can use this add function, list name dot add. Then you can add a value in the list. So it is integer type of list, that is why 1 or 2 is used. The instead of 1, it could be 100. Instead of 2, it could be 15. Whatever it is. So you can add the list, add up the values, and then that can be, those values can be utilized. Okay. How we can like a list can be debugged in this way. or a list can be used with a for loop to get each and individual values. These are the methods: add, clear clone, deep clone, size. Size is one of the method by which you can identify how many items are actually stored within a list. So this size will return that number of elements. So I'm just checking whether, so you can use this with some index as well. Okay. Where is that for loop? And this comes with your database or the Salesforce object access. This is a list of type account. Okay. So individual account you can define, like account A equals to whatever values you want to provide there. And all these things, all these field values, you can directly assign. Or alternatively, what you can do, you can just put a query. This query, this is the syntax within third bracket. Whatever query you have put, all those accounts with these fields will come into this account. This list SCCTS. With this SCCTS, you can access the values individually. How? This is the index it is provided. With this index, you can just dot, you have to use this dot operator to access all these field names. These are the field names, right? And these are the API names. This is not the field label. This is API name, right? Where is that for? I'm just trying to find it. No, it does not have. This is the developer one. Complete the trailheads. The developer trailheads, the programming trailheads that you actually need to complete all of them. Okay. So let me share with you two things. we have learned loops, that is for loop, while loop, and there is another one, do while loop. I haven't gone through that much. That is not being used a lot. Here we are looking into another type of for loop. This is called for each loop. Okay, what is for each loop? If I have a list, I can iterate through that list by the index. What is that index? That I equals to 1, I is less than equals to the list name dot size, that it will go through that, and then I plus plus, and with that list name with I value index we can access it. That is one way. Okay, and the other way is to use this for each loop. With this for each loop, is that with this for each loop, what you can do, you can just iterate through all the values of that list, and you can do your work, you can do your job. Fine. So this is the syntax of, like, this. Here you can store a list in this way, and what you can do, in this way you can put a query. You can put one SOQL query. SOQL query you all know, right? Or this is the this thing you need to go through. Do you all know what is SOQL query?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Then this is the way you can write a SOQL query and assign those values in a list. Okay, account type of list. So I want to like, you have to write two programs. One is combining these two things. You have to print 10 accounts in your org, whatever accounts are there. Just just print name of that account and ID of that account, ID and name of that account for 10 accounts. You have to just print it. Now you have to do this with two things. One is with for loop, one is with for loop means standard for loop. Like, you will use list functions. I have already shown you, like list index and list size. Okay, that would be little difficult for you. First, you will use this for each loop to print those 10 accounts. And then the second time, you will write the same program with list index, not with for each loop, but a for loop which will go from the first index to its last index. Okay. So I have already provided that in this meeting chat. So just go through these two things, these two reference, and write down the program to print 10 accounts. Okay, just 10 accounts with ID and name. Then we will look into the specifications, how we can specify those things. Like, it will be random 10 accounts now. After that, we have to specify from where we have to start, how we can operate all these things. But you have to just print 10 accounts. complete that in 15 minutes and then I will check it.
Sir, done.
Dipanjan,
Yes, sir.
okay, I'll look into this later.
Hello, sir. Done.
Yes, Shubham?
Sir, done, sir.
Okay. Except Shushobhan and Dipanjan, who has completed. Show me. Ritu brother, show me what you have done till now. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Ritu brother, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Show me what you have done till now. Share your screen, otherwise, how can I see? Where is the program? I can only see here. So for this, first thing is that where is your class? You have to write a class, at least one method. Within that, you have to write all these things. Remove the whole thing. Whatever you have written, remove it. So when you have to write this, first you have to define a class and then a method. First do that. Define a method. No. Define a method.
Yes, sir, I am.
That is the least. I have asked to define a method. Right, public. Go to line 2 and write public void space show accounts. First bracket open close. Yes. Now put second bracket. Enter. Now go back to the message chat, the meeting chat.
This one, sir.
What you have to do, you have to show 10 accounts. So copy the query along with assignment in the list, that part. Where it is written the query. Yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
Copy this one and go copy this one and go back to your class.
Sir, I paste it in my class.
You will, but go back to your class first.
Sir, am I screenable, sir?
I cannot see your, like, I can see your message chat only. Okay. Now you can write it in this way, or you can write it in simple in a single line. Put ID and name field. These two actually required for you, right? You can directly put name. That will work. Anyway, last name is also fine. Keep it there. Remove the where clause. We haven't asked for any. Hmm, you have removed all the things. So first complete the third bracket. Your query must be within third bracket.
First.
No, third bracket. Before the semicolon. Semicolon must not be within the third bracket. Okay. Now go to the next line. So how we can write a for each loop? Give me 1 minute. Okay, so yes, account ACC, and that will actually iterate through your list. Very good. For loop, you have to start the second bracket and close it. Yes. Now simply you can just print. You can directly print ACC, or you can print ACC.id and ACC.name, both the things. If you print ACC, the whole object will get printed like this ID and last name. And or if you want to individually print, then it should be ACC.id or ACC.name. What is happening, like this ACCTS, this list, whatever the values are there, one after another, it will come within ACC. So this ACC, that is the loop variable here, that will contain individual records or individual list items, one after another, starting from beginning to end. Okay, so put system.debug, and then within that print id equals to acc.id and name equals to acc.name. That needs to be within single quotes. id equal to, till id equal to, acc.id is the variable, so that cannot be within single quotes. That is not double quotes, it should be single quotes. In between there needs to be a plus to concatenate.
Plus, yes.
And then put again plus name equals to acc.name.
Sir, ACC dot last name.
Obviously, whatever the field name is, that you have to put. Put semicolon at the end. Save it.
I think this will be name only.
Yeah, ideally put name only, because it is not a last name. API name I have to find, but yeah, for account it is only name, it is not last name, it is not contact. Save it. So it is saved. Now I have asked to wait. Yeah. remove that one. So I have asked to print only 10 accounts. How you can do that?
Sir, here in last, if I put limit 10,
Yeah, that you can do. Just give me another minute. Yeah, put that limit 10.
uh,
Execute it. So the ID and name are getting printed, right?
yes.
And it is completely ad hoc. Now, if I tell you, show me those accounts which are recently created, then how we can do that?
So created date and time দিয়ে কিছু একটা করতে হবে।
You can put created date time descending. So created date time descending means whatever is created last, that will come at the top, because that is descending. If I tell you I need the accounts uh, which are for all those names which are starting with A, then how we can do that?
Begins with a,
You have to put some where clause, and within that where clause, what you have to put, that you will say, I will not define that. So do that. And how we can do this with least index, that would be the homework. Okay, so how we are going to do this with least index? We would be putting the least index only, and with that least index we will print all these things. Whatever we have done here with for each loop, that we will do with for loop only. So Shubham and Dipanjan, you can just do other things, like when you are taking this account, you can just fetch the corresponding contacts and show that. This kind of things you can try. For others, first thing is that convert this program to for loop, simple for loop, not for each loop. Second thing is that with different combination or different conditions, like I need to look into accounts which are starting with A, B, C, or whatever it is. Uh, whatever records are updated last. Okay, this kind of with these kind of conditions you have to show this. So at least write 4 to 5 programs with same thing, so that it is not like you should not be sitting idle when somebody is asking that you have to do this. If you have to reach to that point, you have to practice. That is the only thing. And if you cannot move forward with this pace, then I have to stop. So next day, if I am seeing that most of you are not done with these things, then probably next class I will not take. Okay. So please complete these things. And then next class we will discuss how we can use map and list. Okay. Any question from anybody?
স্যার am I audible স্যার?
Yeah, Shubham.
স্যার আমার একটা ছোট্ট কোয়েরি আছে যে এই ঋতুব্রত দেখলাম এসিসি যেটা করেছে ওটা একটা স্মল কেসে দিয়েছে, মানে এসিসি ডট এসিসি মানে অ্যাকাউন্টস, ওকে। আর একটা ও যখন আউট মানে সিস্টেম ডিবাগে করেছে সেটাতে একটা মানে আই মিন এসিসি একটা আপনার কেস সেনসিটিভ আপার মানে আপার কেস ছিল, ওগুলোতে সমস্যা নেই তো?
ফিল্ডের নাম হলে কেস সেনসিটিভ নয়। If it is a variable name, then that would be case sensitive.
আচ্ছা, আর স্যার এসিসির অ্যাকচুয়ালি এখানে এক্সিকিউশনের কাজটা কি স্যার?
Here, this is the for each loop. তুমি যখন একটা ফর লুপ লিখছো তখন ফর লুপ দুভাবে লেখা যায়। একটা হচ্ছে ফর লুপ উইথ ইটস ইন্ডেক্স বা একটা ভ্যারিয়েবল, লুপ ভ্যারিয়েবল, যেটা 0 বা 1 থেকে শুরু করে একটা নাম্বার অবধি ইনক্রিজ করবে, এবং ওই ভ্যারিয়েবলটা যখন কন্ডিশন মিট করবে তখন লুপের বাইরে চলে আসবে, বা
Okay,
ডিক্রিজ করবে, কন্ডিশন মিট করবে, লুপের বাইরে চলে আসবে। আর একটা পদ্ধতি হচ্ছে যে তুমি যদি তোমার কাছে যদি একটা লিস্ট থাকে, তাহলে সেই লিস্টটাকে ফর ইচ লুপ, ফর ইচ মানে ফর ইচ লিস্ট আইটেম ইউ ক্যান এক্সিকিউট। এখানে যেটা ও লিখেছিল দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড ফর ইচ লুপ, দ্যাট ইজ ইউ আর টেকিং দ্য লিস্ট অ্যাজ ইউর বাউন্ডারি। ওকে, your limit is that list itself, and you are operating on that list. If you are writing this for each loop, that is for some variable, specific variable, type of variable, যে টাইপের লিস্ট তুমি নিচ্ছ, colon that list name, that means it will iterate through first to last item of that list. কিরম ভাবে ইটারেট করবে? তুমি যে লুপ ভ্যারিয়েবলটা ডিফাইন করেছো তাতে প্রত্যেকবারে ও প্রথম থেকে শুরু করে লাস্ট পর্যন্ত লিস্টের এক একটা করে এলিমেন্টকে নিয়ে আসবে। এবার লুপের মধ্যে তুমি যা ইচ্ছে করো, যখনই ও লাস্ট সেকেন্ড ব্র্যাকেট পাবে ও লিস্টে নেক্সট আইটেমটায় চলে যাবে, সেই আইটেমটাকে অ্যাসাইন করবে লুপ ভ্যারিয়েবলে। তো সেকেন্ড টাইম তুমি লুপ ভ্যারিয়েবলের মধ্যে সেকেন্ড আইটেম পাবে লিস্টের।
ঠিক আছে স্যার।
ওকে, এনি আদার কোয়েশ্চেন অর দেন?
স্যার আপনি যে বলেন এই স্টার্টিং দিয়ে দিয়ে বা যেটা ক্রিয়েটেড রিসেন্ট হয়েছে বা যেটা আপডেটেড লাস্ট হয়েছে, তো ওটা স্যার কিভাবে করবো? মানে বলছি ওই ফর ইচ লুপ দিয়ে না অনলি ফর ইন্ডেক্স দিয়ে?
কোনটা কোনটা?
এই যে আপনি যে বললেন ঘরে মানে বাড়িতে যেটা করতে স্টার্টিং দিয়ে যে
আগে ইন্ডেক্স দিয়ে করবে, ফর ইচ লুপ দিয়ে তো এখানেই করলে, তারপরে ওই ডিফারেন্ট টাইপের কন্ডিশন দিয়ে জিনিসটাকে এক্সিকিউট করবে। ঠিক আছে,
ঠিক আছে,
ওকে, বাই দেন, বাই ফর টুডে।
ঠিক আছে।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
বাই স্যার, বাই স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার, বাই।
অমর তো